Tonight's class, I'd like us to work on shoulders. I don't know, I just have this feeling that shoulders are what are needed. So we're gonna do some shoulder stuff. Broad opening around the entire shoulder girdle, which this is a socket joint. And so it moves in almost all directions. There is the acromion process at the top here that kind of stops it from going up so much. But it does go all the way around. So the ways that we work with the shoulder joint is to open the chest, is to open the upper back, is to compress the shoulders down, and even shrug them up a bit. So basically all directions we'll be working with that kind of movement to really get these nice and loose. And it's hard to work with the shoulders and not work with the neck. So we're gonna be doing some neck work as well. But first, let's go ahead and get grounded. Sitting tall. Relax your shoulders down your back. And as your eyes close, just take a few deep breaths in and out. Just checking in with yourself and how you're feeling in this moment. How you're feeling in your body, how you're feeling energetically. Are you tired? Are you restless? Sometimes you have that wonderful mix of both. How are you doing mentally, emotionally? And just for a few rounds of breath, let's start to regulate the breath, which helps to regulate all of that. So let's even the breath out, inhaling for a certain number of counts or length of time, and exhaling for an equal number of counts or length of time. Inhaling for a certain number of counts. And the count is whatever you use for internal measurement, an estimated second, the sound of a syllable, however best you can measure the length of the inhale and exhale to keep them as even as possible. Inhaling for a certain number of counts, exhaling for an equal number of counts. We'll continue for just a few more rounds. This breathing rhythm, sama vritti pranayama, helping to balance the hemispheres of the brain, the energy in your body, the nadi system, which are channels that energy moves through, that prana moves through. All about harmony. Equal inhale, equal exhale. And then as you complete this next even exhalation, go ahead and release the technique. And let's chant the sound Om 3 times. You can either do it with me or just listen. And take a deep breath in to begin. Bring your palms together at your heart and bow the chin and just honor yourself as you are in this moment. In your body, your energy, your mind, and letting our practice tonight be in service of that truth. Taking a deeper breath, go ahead with the palms together. And take the heated palms over your eyes. And brush back over the top of your head, down the neck, bringing yourself back to the room. Okay. Okay, so we're going to stay seated, and I'd like you to switch the cross of your legs to the non-habitual cross. So no switch leg is either on top or in back, and then just switch whatever that is. It'll be awkward, or it'll feel awkward, and that's how you know you're doing it right. We're going to do some lateral stuff to get the side body and the shoulders nice and open. So go ahead and take your left fingertips or hand down to the floor, and take your right arm out to the side, palm facing the sky. With your inhale, go ahead and reach the right arm up and over, arcing to the side, and then exhale, come back to a tall seat. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, return. Again, inhale, exhale. Let's do two more. And then as you arc over this time, go ahead and stay. Reaching through the right fingertips. Feel your right hip ground toward the earth. And think about rolling your right shoulder back as if you're opening the heart toward the ceiling. Good. Inhale, come all the way back up. Take a breath here. And then take your right fingertips down to the ground, and we'll do the other side, extending the left arm out, turn the palm up. And then inhale, reach up and over, and exhale, return. Let's keep going. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back. About 3 more times, feeling length on the left side of your body. Inhale. Exhale. This time we'll hold. Go ahead and sweep up and over and stay. As you reach through the left fingertips, feel the left hip bone ground to the earth or to the cushion. And again, think about rolling the top shoulder back, opening the heart. Deep breaths. Good. One more breath here. And inhale, come back up and feel sensation for a moment. Good. So we're going to do that again. And we're going to do just something a little bit deeper on both sides. Go ahead and take your left fingertips to the floor. And then sweep with the inhale, your right arm up and over. And we'll start by establishing the posture again. So left hand is flat on the floor. You're grounding your right hip bone, reaching through the left fingertips, and roll the right shoulder back. Good. Now keep that length along your right side and bend your right elbow. Good. So the right hand comes behind your head, and reach that hand toward your right shoulder blade, I should say, as much as possible. And now we're really reaching through the elbow. So the elbow reaches as far over as you can. And then think about taking the right elbow back. And what this is doing is it's cutting your right shoulder blade into the center of your back, helping to open the heart here. And it might feel a little uncomfortable. Breathe with that. Maybe the left elbow bends a little bit more, the one on the ground. One more breath. Good. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Feel sensation as that right. It's a little bit different when you bend the elbow there. Good. Let's try the other side. Right hand to the floor. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and over. Feel the left hip ground. Feel the left fingertips reach. Roll the left shoulder back. Let's stay for 2 breaths just to establish the posture. Good. And then bend the elbow, left elbow, the one in the air. Hand coming behind the head and working the hand either toward your spine or toward the left shoulder blade itself. And now again, we're reaching through the left elbow, reaching it out of the shoulder as much as possible, and then working it back behind you. Breathe. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Whew. And feel sensation for a moment. And I've only done 2 exercises, and already I can feel my shoulders kind of opening up. You can roll around a bit if you need to. And when you're ready, let's transition on to hands and knees, table pose. Okay. With your inhale, look forward with the heart. With your exhale, go back to child's pose. Inhale back up to hands and knees. And exhale back to child's pose. Let's continue on your breath, moving between these 2 postures as you know how. And then let's add downward facing dog to this flow. So inhale up to hands and knees, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale, float gently back down onto hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. Keep it going. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. Moving between these 3 postures on your breath. Warming up the entire body here, the spine, the legs, the hips, the shoulders. And we're linking your breath and movement as well, your action and your intention. Inhaling to hands and knees, exhaling to child's pose or down dog, alternating between the 2, moving at the pace of your breath. Let's do a few more rounds, keeping this fluidity to your movement. So one breath translates to the next, one posture translates to the next. It's almost like a wave or a buoyancy. There's a crest for each posture, and that just kind of moves you into the next one. Let's do one more. Good. Inhale to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to change things up, but we're going to keep moving. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, plank yourself down to the floor. Feel the pelvis ground, lift the head, chest, and legs, locust pose. Exhale, floating down, curl the toes under, lift the knees, push up to plank pose, and back to downward facing dog. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale to the ground. Pelvis grounds, locust pose lift. Exhale down, push up, and back. Let's keep this moving. Inhale. Exhale, down. Locust rise. Exhale, return, pushing up and back. A few more times. Good. Moving at your own pace. But keeping the movement going, especially as you've done a few rounds, though there might be some fatigue starting. There's also this sense of flowing, that each posture, each breath moves into the next one without really stopping. It's fluidity to your movement. Good. Next time you push up to downward facing dog, inhale, float down onto hands and knees, and exhale, child's pose. But you guessed it, we're going to keep moving. Inhale to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, float gently down onto hands and knees. And exhale, child's pose. So we're back to our first flow. Just keep going. Hands and knees to down dog, hands and knees to child's pose. Let's do 2 more rounds because we're going to do something else with this flow. Good. Inhale up to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Bring yourself 1 inch from the floor, and then push the arms straight. Take the shoulders back, upward facing dog, and then feel a tug behind your navel that pulls you back into downward facing dog. Down to Kriya. Let's do that again. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, bringing the chest 1 inch from the floor. Press the arms straight, take the shoulders back, then exhale, downward facing dog. Let's keep going. Plankasana. Exhale 1 inch from the floor, chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. There'll be a test later on the Sanskrit. I'm just kidding. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. 1 more time. And back. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. Keeping it moving. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. Let's do a couple more in this first movement. Child's to down dog. Because you guessed it, there's more that's coming here. So making your way back to downward facing dog. Exhale into down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg into the air. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands, release the back knee. Inhale, come up for a crescent lunge. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot forward, back knee to the floor, crescent lunge again. Exhale, hands down, step back. Right leg lifts. Exhale, step. Come on up, crescent. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side again. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step it through. Come on up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. And step. Crescent lunge. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step. Knee down, come on up for the crescent lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do 1 more time on each side. Right leg, inhale. Exhale, step. Lift. Downward facing dog. Left leg. Step. Coming on up. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. You guessed it, we're gonna keep it moving. Hands and knees, downward facing dog. Hands and knees, child's pose. Keep flowing, inhale. Downward dog. 1 more time. Child's pose. Believe it or not, there's still more to do. So inhale, come up to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale into plank pose. Exhale into chaturanga, 1 inch from the floor. And then push the arms straight, come into upward facing dog. Here's where we're switching things up. With your exhale, go back into chaturanga. Curl the toes under. And then if you can, push yourself back up to plank. and back to downward facing dog. Wasn't that fun? Let's do it again. Inhale to plank. Exhale to chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Bend the elbows, come back down. Push the floor forward as you press back up. Downward facing dog. Again, even if you're not doing it perfectly, keep going, keep trying. Chaturanga, up dog, chaturanga, plank, and back. Let's give it one more try. Plank pose. Chaturanga, up dog, chaturanga, push up, and back. Inhale down onto hands and knees. And exhale, child's pose. Let's go ahead and stay. So if your wrists are starting to feel a little tweaky, you can take your arms down by your side, palms face up. Just give those a break for a moment. And notice sensation in your arms, your shoulders, wherever else you might be sensing. Now, if your arms aren't down by your side already, go ahead and move them there. And with your inhale, we'll come into Virasana, hero's pose. So sweep the arms out to the side, lift up onto the knees, and reach the arms overhead. And with your exhale, fold back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, come all the way up. Reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, releasing all the way back down. Inhale. Exhale. A few more times. All right, last one. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release your hands down as you fold. Take your hands in front of you. Inhale up to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now let's stay in down dog for a few breaths. It's the first time actually holding it tonight. So if you need to walk it out a bit, go ahead and do so. Breathing length into whatever needs length. Relief into whatever needs relief. All right, so from here, go ahead and step your feet forward between your hands, Uttanasana. Press palms to shins, come halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale again, coming halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold back down. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up, reaching the arms overhead, and then exhale, palms to the heart. Good. Getting the body nice and warmed up with that continual movement and switching between exercises as we did so. All right. So, considering what to do next. Sometimes I have this figured out and sometimes I don't. I'll just edit this part out when I do the video. Okay, let's do arm swings. We like arm swings, okay? And we'll do the version where we drop the body. I'll walk you through the first round or two, and then you'll be off to the races. So this is a three-part inhale through your nose with one powerful exhale out of your mouth with the movement. It'll be inhale, arms up, inhale, arms back, inhale, arms up, and then exhale, bend the knees, drop the body, sweep the arms behind you, and then allow centrifugal force to bring you back up for your inhale, okay? Let me just keep going. So it'll be inhale, 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 exhale, inhale, 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 exhale. If you haven't joined me already, please do. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out of the mouth. And we're gonna go for about 2 minutes, so find your rhythm, something you can maintain for that length of time. to the best of your ability. Powerful exhale out of the mouth, clear the respiratory system. 'And feel the full rotation of your shoulder joints up, and back. 'So you're about halfway done, a little bit more so. Again, going as quickly or slowly as you need to. Again, finding that rhythm that you can maintain. 30 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Come on back up. Good. Feel sensation for a moment, breath rate, heart rate. Good. So interlacing your fingers behind your back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And try to lift the arms off the back as much as you can. Bending the knees slightly. Hinge at the hips and fold forward, arms. Again, lifting off the back, maybe even overhead. And taking deep breaths here. And staying in the pose, feel the shoulder blades soften toward one another and then slip up toward your neck. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and release the hands to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way back up to standing, and palms to your heart. Okay, doing more for the shoulders. Standing tall. And actually, I'll have you take your feet about shoulder distance apart, a little bit wider than your normal stance, and you'll see why in a bit. But go ahead and lift your left arm up into the air and drop the left hand behind your head. And then reach your right arm up, grab the elbow, and traction the elbow toward the center line of your body as much as you can. And then this hand floating back here, bring that hand toward your spine. When you do that, sometimes the chest collapses. Lift the heart. Keep the chest lifting, okay? And breathe. Now, I know from experience, both mine and hearing it from other people, that this is not the most comfortable posture. It's not the most comfortable pose. So how do we address that? Because we want to stay here because the longer we hold it, the greater the release is. We learn to sit with discomfort. We learn to be okay with it. And not just eschewing what we're feeling, but let's breathe with it. Let's see if we can bring some intentionality to that release we're going to get later. So when you notice that discomfort, take deep breaths. And we know that taking deep breaths helps to regulate your nervous system. And you know that this is nothing you need to run from. It's not danger. It's just discomfort. That's all it is. And for our last few breaths here, if you'd like to, you can tilt to the right. If that's too much, don't do it. And if you're tilting, come back up. And then carefully release that left arm, feeling sensation as it settles, tingling the arm and hand, maybe a warmth to it. And let's do the other side. Lifting the right arm up, drop the hand behind the head, and then reach up and grab the right elbow, and then just go ahead and pull the elbow itself toward the center line. So we're not arcing just yet. And then that hand that's floating back here, again, bring that toward your spine, and then lift the heart. Good. And we just have to breathe here. I give you my spiel on the other side. It's just discomfort, it's not danger, you don't have to run from it. I teach this pose quite a bit, especially in corporate contexts, and nobody's arm has ever popped off. So we're batting 100 here, or 1,000. I don't do sports. Just breathe. My point is your arm's not gonna fall off. Just breathe with it. And again, if you want to, you can tilt. Good. If you're tilting, come back up tall. And then again, carefully release that arm. Feeling sensation in the shoulder girdle, down into the arm and hand as it kind of comes back to normal, comes back to life if it was falling asleep. All right, taking a deeper, fuller breath. All right, we're gonna do more with the shoulders because this is a shoulders class. But to make it interesting, I'm gonna throw a chair pose at you, okay? So bring the feet to stack underneath the hips. Because I know you want it to be interesting, so this is for you. Take the arms out to the side. Just establish which arm is your right and your left, and then sweep the arms forward. Have the right hand over left, right over left, and then reach across, and then grab hold of your shoulders, okay? You might be able to inch your hands even further back, maybe, okay? Feet still stacking underneath your hips. You're gonna lift the elbows as high as you can. Turn side face for this one. Lifting the elbows, and you'll feel the shoulder blades widen behind your back. Let's take some deep breaths here. And then keeping the elbows lifting, bend your knees and drop into chair pose. See, it's interesting. Lift the elbows, sink the hips. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, then drop the elbows and release the arms. Feel sensation, especially in the back body, the behind the shoulder blades probably feels like something. And so we did right hand over left. We have to do the other side, or else one shoulder's gonna be way up here, and we're trying to avoid that. So feet still stacking underneath your hips. Take your arms out to the side. Sweep the hands forward, left over right. Then reach across and give yourself a hug again. And then inch your hands as far across as you can. Stand tall, inhale. And then lift the elbows again as high as you can. And this is helping, again, the shoulder blades to widen behind your back. You can see if you can bring some breath into that space. Good. Now keeping that engagement, let's add chair. Bend the knees, sink down. Lift the elbows. Breathe. Three, two, and one. Straighten the legs. Drop the elbows and release the arms. It might feel good just to swing the arms back and forward a few times. Okay. We're doing good on time, which is not always the case. If you haven't had a drink of water in a minute, please take a drink of water. And then we're going to move into a sun salutation. So stepping to the top of your mat. In tonight's sun salutation, we'll work with Warrior One, and then we'll throw that Danda Kriya back into it. The plank to Chaturanga, up dog to down dog, because I know you like that one. Or you have a relationship to it and probably need some processing. So we'll see what happens. So standing tall, bring your palms to your heart. Relax your shoulders down your back. Find your breath first. That steady inhale, the steady exhale. And we'll move on the flow of your breath. With your inhale, sweep the arms down, back, and up. Exhale, bend the knees, chair prep, sweep the arms behind you. Inhale, chair pose. Stay for the exhale. Lift on inhale, straighten the legs. And exhale, swan dive, fold forward and down. Press palms to shins, come halfway up. Exhale, release down. Take the right foot back and take the back foot flat to the floor, toes pointing forward about 45 degrees. Then bend the front knee strong and reach the arms forward, coming up into Warrior One. Keep the front knee bending. Lean the chest forward, parallel to the floor. Inhale, lift the back, coming back into Warrior One. We'll do that one more time. Leaning forward, using that lower back to lift you up. And then exhale, take the hands down to the ground, step back to downward facing dog. You know this next part. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Go ahead and lift your right leg high into the air. Exhale, step the foot through. Back foot flat on the floor, again pointing forward about 45 degrees. Nice bend to the front knee. Inhale, come on up for warrior. Good. Lean the chest forward. And then come back into warrior. Lean the chest forward. Come back into warrior. One more time. Inhale, lean the heart back. And then exhale, fold, bring the hands down, step forward. Palms to shins, come halfway up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the side of the flat back, come all the way up. And bring your palms to your heart. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms down, back and up. Exhale, bend the knees, chair prep, chair pose. Lift on inhale, fold forward, exhale. Palms, shins. And exhale, release, step the left foot back foot flat on the floor, warrior one prep, come on up, inhale. Exhaling the heart forward. Inhale, pull the heart back. Inhaling the heart forward. Exhale, pull the heart back. One more time. And then exhale, fold all the way down, downward facing dog, stepping back. You guessed it, plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, lift the left leg high and step it through. Back foot flat, warrior one. Good, exhale, lean the heart forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lean the heart forward. Come back up. One more time. And up. Exhale, bring the hands down and step forward. Palms to shins, halfway up. Exhale, release. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up, inhale. And exhale, palms to the heart. We're gonna change up a couple things this next round. With your inhale, sweep the arms down and up. Exhale, chair prep, chair pose. Straighten the legs and fold on forward. Palms to shins. Exhale, release, step the right foot back. Back foot flat. Let's come under warrior one. Good. So again, lean the heart forward and then pull the heart back. Lean the heart forward and pull the heart back. We're gonna do one more. We haven't gotten to our variations yet. Inhale, pull the heart back. Stay this time. And then with your next inhale, straighten the left knee, hinge at the hip, and go ahead and fold over the left leg. Good. Staying here for a breath or two. And then take your left hand onto your left shin or ankle. And then inhale, reach your right arm forward. And then exhale, spin the right arm into the air, coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Looking up at the palm in the air if you can. If you can't, you can look forward or even down. Good. And then inhale, unwind, bring both hands to the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, and we're gonna reverse that. Come back to chaturanga. Push up and downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Exhale, step. Back foot flat to the floor. Come on up, warrior. All right, 3 movements. Lean forward and back. Lean forward and back. Forward and back. Stay this time. And then with your next inhale, straighten the right knee. Think about hinging at the hips as you fold over that right leg. Let's stay for just a couple of breaths. And then bring your right hand onto your right shin or ankle. Left arm reaches forward, inhale. Exhale, spiral that arm into the air. Again, looking up into the air at the hand if you can, or straight forward or downward. But work the left shoulder back as much as possible. Good. Inhale, unwind. Folding forward, step the back foot forward. Palms to shins, halfway up. And exhale, release. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way back up. And palms to the heart. Take an adjusting breath here. Okay. I was debating on doing more of those, but I actually want us to move on to some more postures because we are leading up to something, and the more prepared we are, the better. That's all I gotta say. So from the front of your mat, go ahead and step your right foot way back. And we're gonna come into what we call a warrior two stance. So the back foot is flat on the floor, the right foot in this case, and the toes are pointing right out to the side. So it's not cutting forward like we did for warrior one, cutting out to the side for warrior two. Good. And then take the arms out to the side. Now, often we come into triangle here, we just kind of tip forward, maybe we end up here. We're actually gonna come into revolved triangle pose. So just watch me do 1 or 2 rounds to see how it looks, and then you can adjust in your body. So I'll take the arms out to the side. And since my left leg is forward, it's my right hand that's gonna come to the floor. So deep breath in, and exhale, I'm gonna pivot, twist, bring my right hand down, and roll the left shoulder back. And then we'll come back up, and we'll go in and out a few times. Now, if your right hand doesn't make it to the floor, you can bring a prop there. Maybe if you have a yoga block, you can use a yoga block to bring the hand to. You can, if you don't have anything at all, you could technically use your shin. You could use a water bottle. Just do your best, okay? So left leg forward, right leg back. Nice wide stance. Take the arms out to the side. Deep breath in. Exhale, twist. Bring your right hand forward to the ground. You can bend the left knee if you need to. And then roll the left shoulder back. Then inhale, come all the way back up, unwind. And then exhale, swim and twist and fold and roll that left shoulder back. Inhale, come all the way back up. We're going to hold this time. Exhale, spin, twist, plant the hand, roll the left shoulder back, and stay. Now try to keep the back foot flat on the floor if you can. And if it's too much to have the left arm into the air, if you're just not getting there, it's okay. You can bring the left hand onto your left hip and work the shoulder joint itself. Again, the right hand, the one on the floor, it can be on a block if you'd like. And breathe. Good. Be careful with your next inhale. Go ahead and carefully unwind all the way back up. Take a moment and just feel as you unwind. And then when you're ready for side two, go ahead and step the right foot forward and step the left foot back. Again, a nice wide stance to warrior two prep. So the toes are pointing out to the side, back foot flat on the floor, right toes are pointing forward. Go ahead, take the arms out to the side. If you know you're using a block, bring it to the inside of your right foot, okay? Arms out to the side, take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist, bring your left hand down to the floor, block, and roll the right shoulder back. Inhale, unwind, come all the way back up. Exhale, twist forward, plant the hand, roll the shoulder back. Inhale, come all the way back up. Let's do one more time, and then we're gonna hold. Exhale, twist, plant, roll, and stay. It's okay if the right knee is bending slightly. And again, if it's too much to have the right arm in the air, bring it down onto your hip or lower back and work the posture there. And breathe. Try to keep the back foot flat on the floor. Keep the navel pulling into the body and to the right. Good, last breath. And then inhale, unwind, coming all the way back up. And take a moment, just feel sensation as you come out of that posture. And then from here, we're gonna come into down dog. So however we need to get there, you can swim forward, step back, downward facing dog. A nice symmetrical stretch for the whole body. And once you've taken a breath or two there, you can float to hands and knees, coming into child's pose. Good. So when you're ready, please roll yourself up to a seat and look at the screen. I'll demonstrate this next posture. Stay hydrated. So for this one, you may need a folded blanket or a pillow or a yoga bolster. Use whatever you have. A bed pillow would be perfectly fine for this next one. And then just have it somewhere toward the top of your mat. We're going to use that later on, okay? And I'm trying to decide which is the best way to demonstrate this in my space. All right, so I'm gonna come down to lay down on my belly. And I'm going to extend my left arm out to the side. My right hand is just flat on the floor right now. You can't see the whole thing. But it's good to note that my left arm is extending straight out from the shoulder. So it's not way up here. It's not way back here. It's straight out from the shoulder joint. So you can even look across to make sure that that's happening. Good. And then from here, I'm going to roll onto my left side. So the same side of the arm that's extended. Okay, so this is where you might need that pillow or a blanket to slide underneath your head so that you're not straining your neck, because there's going to be a lot going on here. Now my right hand, though you can't see it, it's flat on the floor, and I'm kind of using it to brace myself. My elbow is bent. And then my top leg, my right leg, that foot can come behind my left leg. Now I'm going to go a bit quicker than I want you to, okay? You're going to stay here and you're going to breathe for a while because there's a lot happening in that shoulder. But once you start to feel the shoulder give, you can use this right leg as a lever and just allow it to hang back. Use gravity. And it hanging back is slowly rolling you onto your back over time. And you might get to a point where both hip bones are on the ground, but take your time with it. When you're ready to come out, you'll come out carefully, rolling onto your belly again. And then I recommend staying for a moment once you get there, and then we'll switch sides. So, your turn. So again, if you need a blanket or a pillow, just have that nearby the top of your mat. I had mine eventually folded in half because I needed a higher support than just how I had it folded. And then extend your left arm out to the side. Yeah, left arm will do. Good, and turn your head to the right. Make sure, before you do that, sorry, make sure the left arm is out to the side, straight out of the shoulder, not too far up or down. Then turn your head to the right side. Plant your right hand on the ground and roll onto your left side. Good. Now at this point, you don't want your head or your neck, I should say, to get too strained. So bring a support there. And then take your right foot, the top leg, flat to the floor behind your left leg. Now right here, you might already be feeling this. Stay. The right hand is in front of you to brace you. And take deep breaths. And stay here if you're feeling the stretch and you don't want to go any further because it's really good for you. But if you feel like there's a bit more you can get out of the shoulder without hurting yourself, of course, you can allow this right knee, the bent knee, just to hang back behind you. And that slowly helps gravity help you deepen into this pose as you think about bringing your right hip toward the floor. And just like some of our earlier postures, this might not be the most comfortable thing you've ever experienced. But I want you to stay with it, and I want you to breathe with that discomfort. If you're good with internal visuals, you could even imagine that the breath is light, and that light as you inhale is going to those points and helping to soften or release that tension in and around your shoulder joint. Deep breaths. Right. Now, when you're ready, I want you to slowly come out, bringing the right knee up first. Go slowly, really go slowly. Rolling back down onto your belly. Oof. And then don't move immediately once you get onto your abdomen. Just feel sensation. You've worked hard for that sensation. Stay with it. And then slowly start to move around a bit because we have another side to do. Good. So we're going to do the right arm this time. Just moving my headset around so I don't crush it. So extend the right arm out to the side, straight out from the shoulder, and then turn your head to the left. Planting your left hand on the ground, go ahead and roll onto your right side and then slide that head support underneath your head. Good. And then take the top leg, the left foot, behind the right leg. And again, immediately you might already be at a point of tension and just breathe here. And then if you want to go further, if you feel like you have the access, you can again use that top leg, that left knee, and just allow it to hang back behind you like a lever that's slowly pulling you deeper into the pose with the help of gravity. And then take those big, deep breaths here. Breathe. Again, you can imagine the breath is like light going to those points of tension and soothing them, dissolving them, soften. Let's stay for about 2 to 3 more breaths. Again, move slowly as you come out. Lifting the knee up first. And use the left hand to steady yourself so you don't flop so much onto the ground. Maybe a little flop, that's fine. And then stay and just feel for a moment. Good. Deeper breath. And then still on your abdomen, bring both hands underneath your shoulders. Feeling the pelvis ground, please roll the shoulders down the back. Lift the head, chest, and legs, coming into a version of locust pose. Staying for about 5 breaths total. Lift the heart, lift the inner thighs. Deep breath in. Exhale, release down. And then please roll over onto your back. And do a couple more postures, but just do the roll and scooch. Roll around and come on back. Okay. All right, start by hugging your knees into your chest. Good, and take the arms out to the side, making a T shape with your body. But if there's something in the way of doing that, you can do cactus arms. Okay, knees drawn in, take a deep breath in. Exhale, drop the knees towards your right side. With an exhale, feel your left shoulder joint ground toward the floor, and you might even be able to turn your head to the left. Your right hand can rest gently on top of your left thigh or knee, not forcing the posture, but just encouraging the twist. And again, breathe here. All right, with your next inhale, carefully unwind and take your time as the knees go to the left this time. And ground the right shoulder to the floor, maybe even turning the chin to the right. And then that left hand can rest gently on top of the right thigh or knee. Just encouraging, not forcing the twist. And deep breaths. Okay, with an inhale, come back to center. Hug the knees on in. Go ahead and just gently rock from side to side on your spine. It's been working hard for you tonight. Let's give it a little bit of a massage. And then bring the knees into stillness. And keep hugging the knees in. We're going to just do one more thing. It's going to involve just the head. Keep your head on the ground and go ahead and turn the chin to the right shoulder. Come back to center and turn the chin to the left shoulder. And just keep going. Chin to shoulder, back to center, chin to shoulder. And there's no like breathing rhythm to attach to this movement, just breathe. It can be a quicker movement if that feels like what your body needs, or it can be a slower movement. Of course, there's the gray zone in between. Just go at your own pace. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the head back to center. And then carefully release your legs down to the floor and prepare yourself for Shavasana. Bringing any support where you might need it. And as you come to lay down, allow the toes to fall outward, your arms resting to your sides. And feel your jaw soften. And space behind your eyes, your forehead. And bring your awareness to the space in and around your shoulders and neck. So that might include the top of your chest or your upper back, the shoulder joints or upper arms. It can also include the throat, the neck, maybe even the jaw. And just notice if there's any tension still being held in this region. Mind you, it's okay if there is. In fact, if there is still tension, bring your awareness to one of the points, if it's more than one. And just breathe with that point. See if you can, without moving it, consciously soften the effort at that point. You might even imagine that that point itself is breathing, being relaxed with every exhale. And stay with it as long as you need to. If it does soften, you might move on to a new point. Just keep this idea that this region of the body is relaxing. Peace, peace, peace. Please go ahead and take a deeper, fuller breath. And make gentle movements in your hands and feet, arms and legs. And slowly roll to your right side. And taking a deep breath in and out. Go ahead and bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. So once you're here, sit tall, be comfortable, and make sure the shoulders are relaxing, which probably shouldn't be too hard after our class tonight. And tune into your breath, allowing it to be a grounding point of your awareness. And also be aware of that space around your shoulders. So from around the mid-pectoral muscles to the jaw, the upper arms, the neck, throat. And really the majority of our work tonight has been in opening up the shoulder joints, all the muscles in front of them, all the muscles behind them, within them. And that makes up the space between the heart and the throat chakra. And in a way to talk about it in this context, the heart knows the truth and the throat speaks the truth. And so we've helped to loosen this channel between knowing the capital T truth of who we are, what we need, what we want, and our ability to bring that into full expression with tact, with heart, with love, not from a victimized point, but from an empowered point. The heart knowing the truth with love, and the throat being able to express it. We've opened up that channel for you. You might even feel some energy ascending from the heart toward the throat. And whether it be in this contemplation right now or after we're done here, keep a contemplation going about how you can bring the heart of truth into expression. And expression can be speech, it can be song, it can be writing, it can be art in a broader sense. How can you communicate that truth to yourself, to the world? And allowing that question or that contemplation to remain with you. Take a deeper, fuller breath and bring your palms to your heart, bowing your chin. How can we bring truth into expression? May your effort here tonight and this practice keep you in that contemplation and in the answer to that contemplation. So until next time, namaste.